I Love CVille Show, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and thank you kindly for joining us on a gorgeous and glorious Tuesday afternoon in downtown Charlottesville. This, the water cooler of content and conversation in Charlottesville, Central Virginia, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world, where we have expanded our content coverage on the I Love CVille Show. And frankly speaking, in 2026, as the network has boomed, I've had a lot of ideas of what to do with this show and some additional coverage for the show. I'm going to keep those ideas close to now. Athletes are asked this question. You saw this difference with, say, Michael Jordan and LeBron James. So many athletes in the Michael Jordan era were told, shut up and just play basketball. Shut up and just score points. And Michael Jordan, for all the talent he had, arguably the greatest basketball player in basketball history, NBA history, for all the talent he had in the press conferences before and after games or his interaction with the media, Michael Jordan was extremely vanilla with what he had to say. He often towed the company line because he thought he was a basketball player who was a pitch man instead of a basketball player who had thoughts and ideas and could offer commentary and analysis on things that were happening in the world, whether politics, foreign affairs, geopolitical tension, and just the comings and goings of everyday Americans. In today's era, you got guys like LeBron James. You had guys like Kobe Bryant. One of the things that I loved about Kobe Bryant, and God, Kobe Bryant had his faults. Some of those faults were extremely well chronicled legally. But Kobe Bryant was extremely renaissanced, capable of speaking so many different foreign languages. Just off the charts IQ, off the charts intelligence. He was a basketball player and he could put the ball in the hoop, but Kobe Bryant was much more than a basketball player. LeBron James, you see it with him. LeBron James, maybe you're talking about the guy that can, chip away at Michael Jordan's perch or pedestal as the greatest basketball player of all time. LeBron James in this era, he gives you so much more than just being a pitch man and just putting the ball in the hoop. He talks about life. He has a talk show based in a barbershop. He has a podcast. He offers a glimpse into his thoughts on politics. And I've been getting feedback from viewers and listeners on both sides of the fence. I've got some viewers and listeners on Twitter and Facebook that are almost like, shut up, just play basketball. Shut up, we just want CVille news from you, Jerry. Don't give us anything else. I got some viewers and listeners that are like, no, we want other content from you. So I'm kind of wrestling internally with what to do with some of the ideas that I have for maybe it's another show, maybe it's expanding the content coverage of this show where we talk more macro content. We'll localize it to Charlottesville. Like take the war in Iran. You don't think the war in Iran is infecting or impacting what's happening in CVille? You don't think the war in Iran is going to impact commuters and impact the folks on the financial margin and just drive even more gentrification of the city in Albemarle County in Central Virginia? You don't think the war in Iran is going to divide this community, galvanize this community, leave the community asking questions? And if this war in the Middle East is impacting our home here in Charlottesville, why wouldn't we talk about it? Why wouldn't we ask questions on the program? Why are we there? 7 Americans have died so far. Some have called this a distraction for Donald Trump, a ploy, a tactic utilized by his administration to attract the media attention away from the links to Jeffrey Epstein. I don't buy that. Some have called this war in Iran the influence of Israel on Trump's administration. I don't buy that. Some have called this war in Iran a calling card for Trump as he considers his legacy in his final term in the White House and what folks will remember him, and maybe he's able to end terror. I know that Iran has been an enemy of the United States for nearly 50 years. And in those nearly 50 years, I have not personally, and I don't want to speak for you, the viewer and listener, but I have not personally felt scared or afraid because a country all the way on the other end of the world may attack or bomb us. I asked the question yesterday on the I Love CVille Network, and it went viral. A lot of our content now is going viral almost instantaneously. It seems to me there's a lot to lose and very little to gain here. 7 American soldiers dead and counting. I think about death now as a father of 2 sons. And I know those 7 American soldiers have parents in the United States that are struggling with something that no parent wants to struggle with, and that's outliving their kids, their children. There's individuals in the comment section of the social media channels this show is airing upon, and last night after I posted my commentary, that literally said this: those 7 American soldiers enlisted into the military, and that's the risk they have when they join armed forces. I was taken aback, and this is coming from someone whose wife often says that you can, show a little more emotional intelligence and be a little bit more sensitive, Jerry. But I was taken aback with how cold the commentary was about 7 dead Americans last night, on how they were just expendable, almost as if they were a robotic commodity, a robotic armed forced commodity, as opposed to being the sons or daughters of parents here in our community, family members, wives, husbands, kids. This war in Iran, a global economy fighting for stability, is that not a reflection of where we are? We live in a world where the globe and countries within that world are literally every day fighting for some kind of stability in this tumultuous ecosystem we live within. How about our economy, the American economy? Are we heading into even more inflation? This inflation fueled by escalating gas prices? The last inflationary period, which we thought we were exiting, was fueled by cheap money during COVID and the pandemic. You put interest rates at a 2-3% clip, and then you give everyone free money to stay home during COVID. Of course you're going to have inflation happen. And it ran rampant for years. We're just now getting out of it. Are we about to enter another period? And then I close by saying this: as a country, as a Commonwealth, as a Central Virginia region, and as Charlottesville, don't we have enough domestic quagmires already? A lady on Instagram responded to my commentary about why are we in this war with Iran by saying, "Oh, Jerry, you're so heartless. You're not considering the 30,000 women and children that have been massacred at the hands of Iranian terrorists, dictators." And I said, "Oh, I've considered those 30,000 Iranian women and children massacred by Iranian dictators. But have you also considered the men and women and the children in the United States that are dying of hunger and dying of poverty and dying because healthcare is too expensive and dying because finding a job in this economic climate is about as challenging as it's been as ever? Do you understand the impact that an economic collapse has on Americans living on the financial margin? It yields results that are akin to death, but it does it slowly by the death of 1,000 cuts. You start quicksanding into overwhelming debt. And when you quicksand in overwhelming debt, you start choosing other services as opposed to paying bills that otherwise in a stable household you would maintain or consider paying: healthcare, dental, physical checkups, follow-ups. You change your diet, your eating. You change your clothes, what you're wearing. You go hungry. You go thirsty. Your living environment becomes one of disrepair and despair. That's the death of 1,000 cuts. And you may call me insensitive. You may call me lacking a humanitarian spirit, but I will always and forever prioritize America and our country and the people that live in this nation before any other country. I ask, why the war in Iran? A lot to lose and very little to gain. To start today's show. And I point to 7 American soldiers dead so far, and geopolitical tension brinking on nuclear terror. And I point to a global economy fighting for stability, an American economy teetering on gasoline-fueled inflation, and more domestic quagmires than I can count locally. But yes, let's shift our focus and our attention all the way to the other side of the world. And that's how I'm going to start the Tuesday edition of the I Love CVille Show. My name is Jerry Miller. This show is presented by a number of partners that make this show possible, proud partners of the program. And I want to highlight one of them. I was sitting across with him this morning. It's Jerry Ratcliffe of JerryRatcliffe.com. Jerry Ratcliffe of JerryRatcliffe.com has a subscriber website, ladies and gentlemen, that is now a paywall, content-producing paywalled website. And it's booming already in popularity, and it's been around for 2 weeks. More subscribers than anticipated. And it's because Jerry Ratcliffe is a Virginia Sports Hall of Famer. He's been covering the Virginia sports team for 50 plus years, and he has more connection. He was having a conversation, was it the 1976 the UVA basketball team from 1976 that won the ACC tournament? Wally Walker and that team were sitting in a couple of booths at the Aberdeen Barn this past weekend, and Jerry Ratcliffe was the only guy outside the team sitting at those booths, eating crab cakes and prime rib and sirloins and strips with living legends. That content on JerryRatcliffe.com later today or tomorrow. Judah Wickower's studio camera, and then a 2-shot. We will talk a topic that came up at the end of yesterday's show as I draw attention to Charlottesville's Economic Development Office. Chris Engel is the head of that office. He's catching some heat from me, deservingly so. I asked the question, what has the Economic Development Office in the city of Charlottesville done of merit in the last 6 years? We're approaching the 6-year anniversary of COVID. Might even be today. Remember the ACC basketball tournament was canceled to start the pandemic in March of 2020? The anniversary might actually be today of the start of COVID that canceled the ACC tournament. What has Chris Engel and City Hall done in Charlottesville from an economic development standpoint? I need one idea from the viewers and listeners. We'll talk about the Data Science School funded by Jaffrey Woodruff, a friend of the program, a second building on Ivy and Emmett.
Yep.
I'm going to tell the story of a kind man, a quiet, kind man, a mustached, quiet, kind man who wore the same clothes every day, who enjoyed smoking Marlboro cigarettes, who called the stoop outside the United States Post Office on the downtown mall his home for years. A man who lived on a concrete slab until he died while sleeping inside a sleeping bag, a feathered sleeping bag, a Coleman sleeping bag. A man who spent 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. inside the post office to escape inclement weather, whether it was heat, rain, cold, chill, freeze. He was inside that post office, conversating with anyone who would pass by, including yours truly, including Judah Wickower.
Yeah.
And this kind, quiet, mustached, cigarette-smoking gentleman who wore the same clothes every day, who slept on a concrete slab in a feathered Coleman sleeping bag, who greeted passerbys in the post office with a hello, sir, a yes, sir, and a no, sir.
Yeah.
Even though I was 25 years his junior, has now died. And I want to talk about that on the show. And I don't want to just shut up and play basketball. I want to talk about content and topic matter that I find intriguing and captivating and compelling and infuriating and flabbergasting. I want to talk about content and comment and stuff I read that day that creates emotion for me, whether bliss or fury. And you know what? I don't care if you, the viewer and listener, want me to talk only Charlottesville, because I'm not going to shut up and just play basketball. And what makes this program work, what makes this program popular, is irreverence. What makes this program work, what makes this program popular, is our dynamic, Judah Wickower and I. What makes this program work, what makes this program possible, is the unpredictable nature of the show. It's not scripted. We have 8 bullet points that we put on screen for you, the viewer and listener, and we literally have no idea what we're going to do for the next 60 minutes. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Unpredictable, unscripted, irreverent. What makes this program work? Someone, I think it was Mark Coleman, a new viewer and listener to the show. And this new viewer and listener to the show, Mark Coleman, in the comment section of my commentary about the war in Iran last night that went viral, he said all Jerry is doing is pandering to his viewers and listeners by saying the war in Iran, a lot to lose and very little gain. And I immediately clapped back. I went to Mark Coleman, and you know what I told that man in the chat box? I said, how dare you say I'm pandering to viewers and listeners when on Thursday of this past week, I had the chapter president of Western Albemarle High School, TPUSA, live and in studio. If I was pandering to viewers and listeners in a overwhelmingly Democratic Charlottesville and Albemarle County, our studio located in downtown Charlottesville, the epicenter of liberalism. If I wanted to pander to viewers and listeners, I'd roll out a red carpet for Allison Spillman. I'd have the White Claw that she enjoys drinking in the evening while keyboard muscling commentary of her own on social media on ice, on set, for her to enjoy before and after the program. Pandering is the absolute opposite of what we do on the show. You know why the show works? Because we don't give a
rat's patootie.
That's why the show works. And I'm going to follow the mindset again as we span the content coverage, maybe even consider a rebranding of the show while keeping it true to its roots, while also offering content coverage that's even more macro than normal. The show is yours. A lot of viewers and listeners at your attention, Judah Wickower, on any of the topics we've covered so far. And I'll tell you what, this man right here has worked for this firm for 16 years. This man, Judah Wickower, is as well-rounded as a person that I've ever met. And this man, Judah Wickower, has a lot to offer commentary-wise that is outside of his experience at La Michoacana on Stewart Street. And we can't wait to celebrate that family as they've opened a new location.
I took a picture of it yesterday, but I don't really see any reason in putting it on screen.
Show is yours. Anywhere you want to go. Scatter shooting with Judah Wickower.
Oh, man. Let's see. Yeah, of of all the people I regularly saw in the downtown mall, do we know his name? I'm not a name person. I'm an introvert, so I don't regularly ask people their names. And if I did, I'd forget them in 3 seconds later. But of all the people I saw regularly on the downtown mall, he was one of my favorites. Like you said, he was always polite. He was low key. He was just there, and he didn't get in anyone's way. And I appreciated the how do I put it? The regularity, the metronomic quality that I knew when I headed to the post office on the downtown mall that he would be a regular feature, and I'm extremely sad to hear he's passed, and I'm especially sorry for his family, who never got the chance to invite him back.
His name was Richard Underwood.
Richard Underwood.
He had family in Louisa that offered him a place to stay inside a home, but he passed. Yeah. He wanted to live at the post office.
I often thought if I had more, perhaps I could have offered him, a place to sleep at night. But
he didn't want. See,
but apparently he didn't. I'm not saying that. I'm just noting that maybe he was happy where he was.
The lower third on screen. The intriguing thing about Richard Underwood, who chose to live at the United States Post Office or just outside it, and frankly, we can say with accuracy he lived at the United States Post Office, because when the post office was open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., he was inside the downtown post office. He was inside the post office charging his phone. He was inside the downtown post office to stay in the air conditioner, stay in the heat. When he did smoke his Marlboro cigarettes, he was outside on the step, literally right outside the door. He had a sleeping bag, a Coleman sleeping bag. He had all his clothes bundled together neatly. One of the most tidy individuals you will ever see.
No doubt.
He lived on a footprint outside the United States Post Office that must have been 3 feet wide and 6 feet long. 18 square feet. To say he was Spartan is an understatement.
Yeah.
Richard Underwood did more with less than anyone I know. In some ways, he did less with more than anyone I know. And he did less with more than anyone I know because I would routinely ask my question, why, sir, are you wearing the same clothes, perched inside the downtown mall post office, your elbow resting on the counter, your mustache always groomed, your clothes always the same,
Always clean.
Never with a fragrance that was noticeable of any kind, good or bad. But why are you doing the same thing every day? Every time I entered, I'm in that post office almost every day, Monday through Friday. Whether checking a P.O. box, mailing something, almost every day, sometimes 1 or 2 times a day. He greeted me every time with a, "How are you doing today, sir?"
Sir, every time.
"How are you, sir?" His military background. I always, as someone that was 20, 25 years his junior, was always, initially I was made uncomfortable by why is this, I'll cut to the chase. Why is this black man greeting me as, "How are you, sir? Nice to see you, sir." Does he feel compelled to do that? There were a couple of times I initially said, "Hey, my name is Jerry. What's your name?" I said, I'm Richard. And I would say, "It's nice to meet you, Richard. You do not have to call me sir. You can just call me Jerry." A little different than Judah, will talk to anyone, will conversate with anyone, remember names as if it was strangers' names, as if it was my oldest and youngest son's names. If you're a business owner, whether you believe this or not, a business owner is always selling. And one of the most basic skills of any business owner, any C-suite, is remembering the names of the people you're chatting with, because the name breeds familiarity. Oprah Winfrey said it. Everyone has the same commonalities in life. They want to be seen, heard, and understood. And if you understand the mindset of being seen, heard, and understood with the people you interact with on a daily basis, that is an advantage to you. And the really special ones, the really great ones that understand this concept are authentic about it. And I pride myself to try to be authentic when I see folks, whether it's around the office, the downtown mall, the areas my family chooses to hang out on a weekend basis, evening basis, morning basis. I try to go out of my way genuinely and authentically to make the lives around people around them a little bit better that day, using their name, asking how they're doing, bringing a smile, cracking a joke, and I hope people understand that. Mm-hmm. It's authentic. I try to do that with Mr. Underwood. I try to crack the ice and say, Richard, I'm Jerry. But every time I saw him, and it was always 24 hours later, sometimes a few hours later, as I was waiting for a package to arrive or a big check to come into the P.O. box that I was tracking, I would say, hey, Richard. And he would say, hey, how you doing, sir? Initially, I thought it was, how are you doing, sir? Because it was some social norm, him old school, that he was drilled into. That's how he had to treat me. And then I realized years of going through this that it was his military background and just the fact that he's a gentleman that is one that prides himself in treating others with respect.
Yeah.
But there's a lesson learned here, and there's a lesson to be learned, and I want to cover it before we go to this next topic. Here's one of the lessons that I learned. A, never judge a book by its cover. This houseless, homeless individual was a military veteran who was kind, never drunk, never high on drugs, never antagonistic, never bombastic, never aggressive. He was who he was every day, and it was the metronome of consistency. Second, Charlottesville is going to launch eventually. When are you going to do this, Sam Sanders? 36 months from now? A $10 or $15 million homeless shelter on Holiday Drive. Have we considered this when the Holiday Drive homeless shelter that's going to cost taxpayers somewhere between $10 and $15 million when it's built? How many of the houseless population are going to say, I don't want to live in this bureaucratic, this jurisdictional controlled, this law-rooted homeless shelter? I want to live free, spirited, as I see fit. Would it not be a wild time in Charlottesville where taxpayers front the bill for a $15 million state-of-the-art homeless shelter on Holiday Drive for the 200 to 250 houseless individuals in our community to choose to stay camping and living in storefronts on the downtown mall?
Yeah.
The wild thing about this homeless shelter is the shelter cannot work. The shelter will not work. The shelter will not enjoy success if there's not follow-up policy that accompanies the shelter. If Sam Sanders and City Council do not momentumize the shelter by saying you cannot camp or store your belongings on the downtown mall or the Rivanna Trail anymore because we have this $15 million shelter, then I would bet you a large portion of that 200 to 250 houseless population is going to stay exactly where they are. And speaking of the Rivanna Trail, that headline on screen, have you seen the Rivanna Trail lately? Chief Kotchis, remember when Michael Payne and City Council left Police Chief Kotchis out to dry? He presented a couple of months ago policy that council asked him to prepare and present. And that policy that Chief Kotchis prepared and presented on behalf of council basically was an ordinance that said you cannot shelter or store your belongings in public places in Charlottesville. Then it needed council approval. Well, the story was leaked. I think Sean Tubbs published it. And props to Sean Tubbs. I will never knock news creators or content creators for getting the news out there.
Yeah.
There's no gatekeeping on news. Some content I don't position on the show, like a business that's closing. because I understand the blood, sweat, and tears that went into creating that business, and the fact that that business is closing or failing or cannot pay its bills is almost as if it is the loss of a child for that business owner, and it's not for me to break that news to you. I know there's nearly a dozen additional name brand restaurants and food and beverage businesses that are about to close, but that's not my news to break. That's not gatekeeping content. All other content, for the most part, I think is fair game. Props to Tubbs for getting it out there that Chief Kachis was going to present this policy to council on behalf of council. And when that news got out there, Charlottesville's activist community started using this cliche. City Hall and Charlottesville and council are trying to criminalize homelessness. And once criminalized homelessness entered the lexicon or the narrative or the news cycle, that was the end of that policy.
Yeah.
And then council left Kachis out to dry. And now Kachis, he even said it in that meeting. Well, since you're doing this, I want to let you know that it's not up to the police department anymore to shelter or to police air quotes, folks that are sheltering in public places. We are not going to do that anymore as a police department. Now look at the Rivanna Trail.
I'm going to grab some of these.
You have photos. Where are they from? Reddit, the subreddit?
Yeah.
He's going to put photos on screen.
Give me a minute or two. I'm going to convert them.
He's going to, in 2 minutes, you're going to see what we're talking about. Props to the Charlottesville subreddit, where I'm absolutely beloved on the Charlottesville subreddit.
I don't think there's a lot that's beloved there.
Trauma and trash, tents, tomfoolery, treacherous, toxic tactics. And it's a perfect segue into the next point of topic on the program. Perfect segue into the next point of topic. What has Charlottesville City done for nearly 50,000 people that call a 10.2 square mile radius their home? And whether you want to admit this or not, Charlottesville City, ladies and gentlemen, is the driver of Central Virginia and Albemarle County, whether you want to admit that or not. What has the city of Charlottesville done from an economic development standpoint? In the last 6 years since the onset of COVID, I think we're at the 6-year anniversary today. Maybe it was yesterday, because it canceled the ACC basketball tournament, if you remember. What has the city of Charlottesville done in 6 years from an economic development standpoint? I genuinely am asking the question. I don't have an answer. I follow this as closely as anyone. Our firm is the confessional of entrepreneurship, of small business, of startups, small caps, mid caps. We have one client on our roster, and I was corrected after saying this a couple of weeks ago. We have one client on our roster that is doing, if I say what it is, if I say the revenue amount, you'd probably pinpoint who it was. I'm going to say close to mid-9 figures. That was the correction from the client who said, hey, what about me? After I said it last time on the show. So from the startup, I literally had a conversation before the show started with one of our tenants. We have 24 of them. And this tenant, who I have tremendous respect for, literally needed my approval to put the letter E on his office door. A vinyl letter E on his office door. It was a 14-minute conversation that I had today about putting the vinyl letter E on his office door that he rents from me, and him not wanting to step out of the bounds of the lease that we had. And you know what? At that moment, I gained even more respect for him. That 14 minutes, I kind of wished I had back. But I had tremendous respect for him because he literally was following the letter of the law, pun intended, with the lease over the letter E, a vinyl black letter E on his office door.
Yeah.
What has Chris Engel's department done from an economic development standpoint locally? We had, is it Randy O'Neill Randy O'Neill is a viewer and listener of this show. I think you have a photo of Randy O'Neill. I hope Randy O'Neill's watching the program today. He mentioned this yesterday, mentioned it this morning as well. Has the Economic Development Office in the city of Charlottesville coordinated with Monticello as they celebrate the 250-year anniversary of America?
I do not have a picture of Randy.
You would think the city of Charlottesville and its Economic Development Office would be working in unison with Monticello and the 250. Is it the bicentennial? Is that what it is?
I think it's I think it's 250 years, right?
Is it bicentennial? That's such a dumb question on the program. Is
No,
that the moniker?
bicentennial is 200.
Okay, what is the 250-year anniversary?
Just a second. I'm sure it's going in our feed right now.
Viewers and listeners, help a brother out. Are they in cahoots or unison or harmony on that?
Semiquincentennial.
Okay, I can't say that 3 times fast.
Semiquincentennial.
Ladies,
Semiquincentennial.
ladies, he's single and ready to mingle.
Yeah, I can sing semiquincentennial at your birthday party or wedding.
Ladies, he's single and ready to mingle. Have they worked in any cahoots, conjunction,
Have what now?
or unison? City Hall with Monticello? July 4th is 250 years of America.
Yeah.
We cannot call purchasing the Holiday Drive office building for $6.2 or $6.4 million economic development because it won't open for 36 more months, 3 years, and they're going to need another $8 to $10 million from us.
And they haven't even gotten started, and the beds have already been cut in half?
Yeah, it went from 200 and some beds to 80. Spencer Pushard, his photo on screen. Is there a Dogwood parade this year? Not that I know of. Is there First Night Virginia this year? Not that I know of. Are we going to call a Christmas tree that we call the Hairy Fern? What are the names of the Christmas trees on the downtown mall? Untrimmed.
Was it Oatmeal? I thought it was Oatmeal 3.
Fatty the Fern.
Let's see.
Freckly Fernie. Oh, Christmas tree. That Christmas tree is huge, but can someone manicure the tree in any capacity to shape it? It needs like the Manscaped things that you get in the mail. No one wants a bush. Don't make it a bush. I don't want the bush. Do you want the bush? Not the bush. One of the 9 names was the bush.
Boots with the Fur.
Boots with the fur.
Oatmeal the Third.
How about the landing strip?
Spruce Lee would have been nice.
Spruce Lee.
I'd have enjoyed that. Spruce Willis. Spruce Willis was
Neil Williamson
23.
says he always votes for Spruce Springsteen.
Spruce Springsteen, there you go.
Maria Marshall Barnes. Fireworks in the park won't happen this year. You're
That's a
rotating lower thirds all over the screen. So you're telling me we can't have a 4th of July parade. We can't have a fireworks in the park in McIntyre. We can't have a Dogwood parade. We can't have a First Night Virginia. We can't have a designated outdoor refreshment area, a beer garden on the downtown mall. We can't have policy that prevents sheltering in place. We can't have a policy that prevents the storage of personal belongings in place. We can't have policy in place that prevents trash and tents and trauma and tomfoolery on the Rivanna Trail.
Oh, I've got pictures.
Show the photos, Judah. Give them what they want. This is courtesy of the Charlottesville subreddit, a place that Judah and I are beloved. The Charlottesville subreddit is men and women that are anonymously full of such joyous,
Anonymously full of what?
emotionally positive intelligence.
Alrighty then. Here we go.
Look at the Rivanna Trail. Do you think I would take our sons to this? Do you think I would take our sons to this? Are you rotating the photos on screen? Look at the screen. Look at the screen. Look at the screen. We're not taking our sons to this. Would you run alone here? Ladies that are watching this program, would you run by yourself on this trail in the middle of the day?
That's the question.
Ladies, would you run by yourself? I don't even think I would run alone in the middle of the day here. Would you?
I'd have some serious qualms about running that trail any time of the day.
Yeah.
Definitely wouldn't go at night.
This is by there. You can see Freebridge in the background. One of those photos is Freebridge. Mm-hmm. This is the trailhead, right? Isn't that what you call the entry point of the trail? Access point, trailhead. What are we effing doing, City Manager Sam Sanders and City Council? And everyone who watches this program, Jerry, you started with the program, you started with the show with the war in Iran, and you asked the question, what is America doing in the war in Iran? A lot to lose and not much to gain. Why are you talking about this? I'm talking about this because there's 7 effing dead American soldiers who have family, wives and husbands and children and parents that right now are crying and lamenting their loss. I'm talking about it because of the tension, the turmoil, the instability globally that undoubtedly materializes and manifests locally. I'm talking about the inflation that will follow. I'm talking about the gentrification that will follow. I'm talking about the collateral damage that without question will impact Charlottesville whether we like it or not. And to the folks that say in the chat box, and I respect your opinion tremendously, I've feared Iran for 50 years. I respect your fear. I do. But I'm of the mindset that we take the hundreds of millions of dollars, the billions of dollars that we're spending on this war in Iran on the other side of the world, and we allocate that financial resources, taxpayer dollars, to protecting the borders of the country, to strengthening our defense domestically. Why not take the money, the billions of dollars that is going to this war in Iran to reimagine a country that's terroristic in its control, to try to infuse or implement democracy all the way across the world, a country that we will never be able to police in its democracy once we start the ball rolling, the democratic ball rolling down the mountain. We'll never be able to maintain the momentum. The Ayatollah's son is now in control. A man that is even more lunatic and angry and terroristic and full of fury than his father. Will never be able to maintain civility and democracy over there. Why don't we take the effort, the opportunity costs associated with that effort, the money, the taxpayer resources associated with that effort, and strengthen defense locally and domestically? Why don't we take it as a way to embolden or momentumize the lower class and the middle class by offering some kind of tax incentives? Why don't we figure out jobs? Why don't we start prioritizing the fact that artificial intelligence is literally making this the most challenging job market ever, at least in a long time? Why don't we highlight the K-shape economy? Mm-hmm. Oh, the war in Iran is not going to impact Charlottesville. Bullshit. I want to highlight Charlottesville Sanitary Supply, 62 years in business. Charlottesville Sanitary Supply has an e-commerce website at charlottesvillesanitarysupply.com where you can buy anything cleaning and sanitary, anything swimming pool, anything vacuum related, and have it delivered to your doorstep the same day. Charlottesville Sanitary Supply is locally owned and operated by a Vermilion family that is like the best dudes ever, like the best people ever. Just honest guys. I enjoy them, their company.
No doubt.
Honest people. 5 generations in Albemarle County, 3 generations of business ownership, and a sister business, Charlottesville Swimming Pool Company, that is anything swimming pool related, concierge or consultant in the region. You contact Charlottesville Swimming Pool Company at charlottesvilleswimmingpoolcompany.com first. We do with our family swimming pool. Maria Marshall Barnes' photo on screen. The trash the tents and the trauma and tomfoolery on the Rivanna Trail. It's crazy. I couldn't believe it when I saw it from the road. How are we allowing a gateway? The trailhead at the Rivanna Trail is a gateway to the city. How many tens of thousands of people, if not 100,000 people or so, enter the city of Charlottesville through that corridor?
Yeah.
No, seriously.
I don't know.
It's easily tens of thousands.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And as they're entering the city of Charlottesville, hey, we're one of the best cities to live in the world. Come down Freebridge, down Pantops Mountain, all you Albemarle Countyans, and come work in Charlottesville and shop in Charlottesville and spend your money in Charlottesville. Oh, on your way in, look at that Sandersville. Look at Sandersville. Look at that tent town. Oh, and on your way in, check out the tent town suburb that's on the downtown mall.
The suburb.
We have a tent town and a suburb of tent town right down High Street, up at the downtown mall. Neil Williamson watching the program. He says, we push back on the concept that such an ordinance is criminalizing the unhoused. Is it criminalizing hunger when shoplifting laws are enforced? No. Caring, courageous communities enforce the law and help the hungry by providing food pantries and soup kitchens. Is it criminalizing the lack of transportation when carjackings are prosecuted? No. Caring, courageous communities prosecute carjackers and help the transportation challenge by eliminating transit fares. The downtown mall is city property. As property rights organization, we believe that those rights should be protected, as should the rights of Charlottesville property owners. Amen, Brother Williamson.
Well said.
And he spoke before council. Right before City Council and Juan Diego Wade, the mayor, allowed Greer Achenbach, the head of Friends of CVille, to be lambasted by 200 activists that seem to be controlling the city. And if you don't stand up and start realizing this, that urban policy group, that whatever the hell Livable CVille is, I don't know what they are, urban lobbying group, Livable CVille, led by Stephen Johnson and Matthew Gillikin, if you viewers and listeners do not start pushing back on them on social media by saying you Livable CVille are driving without question an increased tax base, higher taxes, and gentrifying your community, our community, by your crazy wackadoo policies, then you are doing our community a disservice. I do it all the time, and it's time for you, the viewer and listeners, to stand up and man up and woman up and do the same. Comments are coming in faster than I can keep up. Water cooler content and conversation. I want to give some attention to 919 Druid Avenue in Belmont. 919 Druid Avenue, goodness gracious, you talk about phenomenal opportunity. Katie Mullins, Ben Mullins, Chris Coiner, 919 Druid Avenue. 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, 2,200 square feet, a basement apartment. $919 Druid Avenue, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be an $800,000 plus home. It's got a $699,000 price tag, and it is absolutely awesome. I got this guy in the I Love CVille group, Philip Bldg. Philip Bldg is attacking me because I @symbol everyone in the group, in the I Love CVille group. I use the @everyone in the group to drive attention to a talk show we do. I want you to consider Philip Bldg. This guy right here, Philip Bldg.
Okay.
He has an issue with me @symboling everyone in the group.
But it's our group.
Instead of unfollowing the group, he believes the proper response is to leave dozens and dozens of sentences of attacking commentary on why I should not @ everyone in the group and how I should be held accountable on everything that I say on this show, despite the fact that he hates it. It drives him crazy. He's infuriated by what I write and what I say, thinks I should be held accountable for politics and everything I have to offer on the show. But instead of simply unfollowing the group, he chooses instead to spend hours within the group, engaging with the group and the content of the group. We own the group, we own the brand, we own the platform. We're certainly not going to change for anyone, let alone someone with the last name Bldg.
Is that a problem?
Okay? This is the world we live in right here.
Yeah. To all you Bldgers out there, we ain't changing for you.
He leaves this comment. Looks like you have some serious introspection to do before you can lecture anyone about anything.
Well, thank you for joining our group.
Thank you, Philip Bldg, for joining our group and leaving dozens of comments in our group in the last 24-hour period of time about why you don't like the group. Instead of just leaving the group. Make it make sense.
I can't make it make sense.
Make it make sense. Insanity. Oh, Philip Bldg. I think we're going to start calling things in Charlottesville, you got Bldg'd.
What does that mean?
That's a Bldg.
Is that when somebody stands around outside?
In fact,
your,
you know what? I'm
your
going to add civil. Philip Bldg
tells you how much they dislike your front
We are
lawn.
chatting about you now live on the I Love CVille Show. Old Philip Bldg. Carly Wagner watching the program. A lot of respect for Carly Wagner. Jerry, did you see his debate? She's talking about Matthew Gillikin. Matthew Gillikin here, the head of coach, Livable CVille. I actually did see your interaction with him, Carly Wagner. I thought you won the argument decisively. Did you see Matthew Gillikin's debate about needing to spend more money on Charlottesville-Albemarle transportation despite demand and ridership being at an all-time low and actually declining annually for the past 8 years? Matthew Gillikin, Stephen Johnson, and Livable CVille, I want you to help me understand something. You are literally lobbying the city of Charlottesville. Matthew Gillikin and Stephen Johnson are lobbying the city of Charlottesville to spend more money on public transportation in Charlottesville with CAT. Yet Charlottesville-Albemarle transportation is on an 8-year decline with ridership and is at an all-time low with the patrons that use Charlottesville-Albemarle transportation.
Okay, but what part of that is because spending has been horrible on it? I'm asking
like,
a question.
The ridership will uptick if we increase the routes and make them more consistent. Nah, dog. No, dude. The ridership's decreased because your obscene policies has made this community so expensive to live. The only people that can afford to live in Charlottesville have 3 cars, a Prius and a Subaru. And they don't need to get in a tin can that's an electric bus that can't get from point A to B without running out of power. Michael Payne, let's get them electric buses here. It's good for the environment. Hey, I don't care that those electric buses are 4 times the cost of the gasoline buses. The taxpayers are going to pay for it. I don't have to worry about paying for it. I live in the basement of my mom and dad's house. My top generating income stream is the $18,000 I'm making on city council. I saw the FOIA, that I saw the financial statements of the counselors. I can verify everything I'm saying about Michael Payne and his income stream. The $18K is true. You know why you can make $18K a year? Because you live in your parents' basement as a mid-30s man. But let's get the electric buses. 4 times the cost of the gas-powered buses. because we need those electric buses to preserve the environment, despite the electric buses being significantly less reliable and more likely to break down, and the cost to repair them being much more expensive than the gas-powered ones. Make it make sense. Let's throw hundreds of thousands, let's throw millions of dollars at CAT. Let's get these bus drivers and let's pay them $75,000 a year to drive around in an empty tin can where 8 years of ridership decline. Literally backed up facts here, folks. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Philip, Spencer Bushart says I need to respond to Philip Bldg with an everyone. One more thing. Everyone is watching us, talking about you.
We even got his name on screen.
I sent it. I just Bldg.
Check the feed.
You've been Bldg. That was you, unscripted, unfiltered, unaffiliated, and unafraid. You've been Bldg.
You've been Bldg.
Write that down. Bldg. You've been Bldg. Spencer Pushard said he just spit his drink out with the Mike Payne basement comment.
Nice.
You've been Bldg.
We're sorry about your drink.
Carly Wagner, the demand is clearly not there for CAT. And his response, Matthew Gilligan's, is that we just need to offer more routes to increase the demand. Economics 101, supply and demand. There is no need for buses because most of the daily trips are long commutes. Kids pick up is too scattered geographically, but compact time-wise, construction crews needing equipment and materials, grocery hauls. The way American suburbs are built doesn't lend itself to mass transit, certainly not Charlottesville's.
Ooh, yeah.
The folks that can afford to live in Charlottesville are driving Priuses and Subarus, and they have 3 of them. They don't need bus transportation.
But what about the people that do?
They're clearly not riding it. 8 years of decline.
Mm-hmm.
John Blair's got a comment. He says, this is way outside my lane, but one rationale I've read about the Iran intervention is that both Iran and Venezuela have been supplying below market oil to China, and potentially both of these moves are more geared towards harming China and its economy in the long term. Again, I have no idea how to measure that, but that's a theory that I've read. I've also read that theory as well.
Yeah.
That this whole Iranian war is to destabilize China and Russia.
I mean, Russia does enough of its own destabilizing, but China definitely needs some...
some Bldgering.
Some Bldgering.
We need a Bldg China. Let's Bldg that China.
Oh, man.
I've read that as well. So many theories. Let's distract the American public on Jeffrey Epstein and my links to Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump. Let's destabilize China. Let's destabilize Russia. Let's reimagine Iran into a democracy. Let's fight for the 30,000 that are dead at the hands of a terrorist. Let's kill that terrorist and replace him with a hand-picked terrorist. Our hand-picked person of our own. The man we killed, his son, is nastier than the man we killed, and now he's in charge. Let's fight him with missiles. Let's fight him with billions of dollars of military weaponry when they're using $1 drones to fight back. Let's deplete our weaponry reserves. They're using $1 drones to fight us. Holly Foster and Henrico. She says there's not a chance in ain't she double hockey sticks. Those are my words. But she says there's no way I would walk that trail. I've only been to your studio once, and I didn't feel safe coming from the parking garage due to the homeless. And this is Holly Foster, a woman of sophistication, a woman of affluence, a woman that is looking to spend money in Charlottesville and Albemarle County. Holly, would you say that's accurate? Holly Foster is a woman of sophistication, a woman of education, a woman of affluence, a woman that is looking to support and shop local, a woman who visits Charlottesville often from Henrico, Albemarle County, looking to spend disposable income, and says she doesn't feel safe going from the Market Street garage to our studio on Market Street. That's a microcosm. We appreciate you, Holly Foster. She's got a phenomenal dog named Luke. She gave us some awesome Twizzlers.
Yeah.
And a bottle of Macallan, was it Macallan 12? Macallan 10?
One of the best bottles we've had in this office.
Love you, Holly Foster. You absolutely, Holly Foster, have not been bootlangered. It's 1:38 on a glorious and gorgeous Tuesday afternoon. Ginny Who says, and if Bootlanger can't simply unfollow, he can go into his own settings and turn the everyone notification off. Bootlanger, you're bootlangering yourself.
You've hoisted by your own bootlangers. Oh man, we're gonna have so much fun with this guy's name.
Bootlanger. It's like a Family Guy reference. Was it the Family Guy with the Quagmire?
Quagmire. Giggity giggity.
Bootlanger.
Boomhauer. You talking about Boomhauer from
Yeah.
from King of the Hill?
King of the Hill.
The dig daggone, I don't know about that thing. I got me a thing and done, Is that what you're thinking of?
Yes, that's what I was I'm dying. Keep going, please. Keep
I
going.
can't.
No,
I'd have to read a script of his.
I'm crying. God. That's exactly what I was thinking about. I got him confused.
Oh, man.
Jason Noble. Tremendous respect for Jason Noble. We agree on a lot of stuff. We disagree on some stuff. We disagree on this war in Iran. He says the Ayatollah's son is reportedly severely injured by the attack that killed his father. His father also wrote in his will that he didn't wish his son to take over. I understand that, Jason, but why is the son now taken over? Why is the son now taking over? Because the father is dead. All right, we got to close the show. We're going to go make some money. Let's give some love to Stanley Martin Holmes. Stanley Martin Holmes is trusted. Stanley Martin Holmes. Stanley Martin Holmes is building condos, townhomes, single-family detached homes. They're developing neighborhoods that cater to each person's unique needs and lifestyles. High-quality single-family homes, townhomes, condos, designed and constructed with innovative techniques that ensure exceptional efficiency and aesthetic appeal. Design features and technology to enhance your living experience and your home, and not just today, but for years to come. At Stanley Martin Holmes. Spencer Pushard, there's 1,000 people that talk like that an hour south of Charlottesville, Judah.
I have
Is that Buckingham County? Spencer's got some Buckingham ties over there.
Tell you what, man, talking about dang old compatibility, man, like a dang old puzzle piece, man. Talking about pop right in, puzzle solved, man. Dang old hole made for me, yo. This is my dang old hole. There you go.
That's so good. Oh, I love this Judah. This is even sober Judah. Ladies, he's single and ready to mingle.
That's sober Judah.
That's sober Judah.
That's the King of the Hill mashup with a Junji Ito comic, for those of you who are savvy.
That was Jeremy Wilson says, Bootlanger, Blacksburg's favorite son. Jeremy Wilson's watching in Eastern Tennessee. Did we cover everything?
I don't
close
know.
with this. Duke lost 2 starters. 2 starters of the Duke men's basketball team, John Shire announced mid-morning, will not be playing in the ACC tournament, including 1 starter that's likely out for the remainder of the year. There's very much an opportunity for men's basketball to win the ACC tournament, UVA men's basketball. 2 of Duke's 5 starters are out. UVA has a much clearer path to an ACC tournament title now. And then for a programming note, tomorrow Brent Lillard is on the show. Mm-hmm. Brent Lillard, a second rodeo on the I Love CVille show. Do we have a photo for Brent Lillard?
Probably somewhere.
Can we get a photo for Brent Lillard? Brent Lillard, the CEO of GovSmart, on the show tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss that interview. We're going to spend 30 minutes with Brent Lillard. Curtis Shaver, did you like Judah Wickower's impersonations today, Curdy?
Dang on, greatest thing I ever heard in my life.
Can you give us another one?
Come on. There's only so much I can do.
I don't think I've laughed like this in a long time.
Let's see. Here we go. Oh, man. Oh, crap. Here we go. Oh, man. Just dang old complicated. You know, man, it's like a dang old Rubik's Cube, man. You're like talking about blue, red, man. Then you get to one side, then you're like messed up the other side, man. How's that?
That was so good. I'm crying.
I like to think I'm pretty good at doing voices.
You're really Judah's laughing at his own jokes again. I love that about Judah.
I'm laughing because you can't stop laughing.
Oh, God, I think it's so funny. Curdy, I hope you like that today, Dirty Curdy. Oh, God. Brent Lillard tomorrow. That's an hour and 50 minutes straight. 75 minutes on the water cooler of content and conversation. The I Love CVille show. Curtis Shaver loves it. Or Judah Wickower. Do you want to close?
I'm still trying to get that Brent Lillard picture.
That's all right. It's the end of the show. Just close with some impersonations again.
Impersonations? What do you want an impersonation
Anything
of?
you want. Don't overthink it, please.
I always overthink it.
We know. You take 400 meters to run the 100-meter dash. Oh, I got the scowl over there from Judah. He didn't like that comment.
No, I'm still processing.
I'm saying you're just a little wordy.
Dang old 40 million yard dash. I tell you what. I tell you what.
Close the show.
I thought I just did.
You gotta end it.
Dang on Brent Lillard tomorrow. Come watch us. You'll like what we say. How's that?
That was good. That's
All right.
the I Love CVille show. Judah Wickower, I'm Jerry Miller.